Oh, hello there. I didn't expect to see you here in the DotP vault. I'm the Grand Wazoo. You might know me from such segments as Postmaster Wazoo Goes to Washington, or Try Hard Tuesdays, the Tuesday show on DotP Network. This vault is fascinating, isn't it? So much genius gathered all in one place. You can almost see where DotP began, just looking down that way, and that way you see our current episodes being shot as we speak. But follow me this way. I think I have an interesting selection to show you. It's right over here, down this row. It is right here. Proud's first appearance on DotP. You could really see the genius of Ursi growing, and of course that pesky Roland was on the show as well. So I hope you enjoy this throwback to DotP's wonderful, rich history. I know I will.
Alright, hello and welcome to yet another Thursday on Defense of the Patients. We like to call this Theorycrafting Thursday. And I am here with my co-host, Roland.
Hello, and yes, I do like to call it Theorycrafting Thursdays, because that's what it is, sir.
Yeah, well, depending on the day, it's Theorycraft Thursdays or Theorycrafting Thursdays.
Yes, it's true.
So, someday we'll
I think you started the ing. I've always looked at it as Theorycraft Thursday. Or was it... Maybe I put the ing on there. I look at Cyphus for, like, what? Cyphus, tell me. Validate. Yeah, we got producer Cyphus in the house tonight. Not on a microphone, but he'll add his 2 bits.
Yep, and then more importantly, we have our illustrious guest.
We have a guest?
We do have a guest. It's a first, I know. But yeah, we have Proud, good friend of mine. He's going to be helping us out tonight.
Yeah, hey Proud, I've got a question for you, bud. Where the fuck have you been, dude, during this? We've had Ursi on this side. Why aren't you coming over hanging out with us, dude?
That's a fair question.
Are you too good with that Lone Druid? Or what?
A little bit too good with Lone Druid. I think it really doesn't do that much for you, turns out, which we'll get into later. But yeah, pretty busy. I'm actually on my school's Dota team right now, so not quite enough time to spread myself too thin.
CIS? Like, are you have you registered for
with the CSL?
CSL. Okay.
Yeah,
oh my god, dude,
yeah, it's sick, honestly.
That's badass. What school do you go to? So we can root for your school.
I just transferred to UCSC, UC Santa Cruz, and I'm on their B team. But if you ask me, I think we're a little better than the A team. So we'll see how we do.
Holy fuck! Well, it's a privilege to meet you, sir. I know. You're the closest to famous I have come to. Have on the show. I'm a little nervous now. Okay.
Sorry, awesome. We'll get over it quickly, I'm sure.
I almost scrimmed with Boreal once, just saying.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, slow down,
pretty
dude.
Top tier, I know.
Slow down. God. I'm going to steal all our fans away, man.
Yeah, really. So for this week, what we're doing, because I may or may not have spoken about this on some show or cast or whatever, but Proud is our resident Lone Druid player. For better or worse, definitely depending on the patch. And so tonight we're going to be doing a Lone Druid combo. It's going to be Lone Druid Shadow Shaman, which we definitely, I think, has potential. I know, Proud, you've run this before, right?
Yeah, I had a friend who I would do that with a lot in solo queuing, get a lot of MMR that way.
Yeah,
I guess party queue at that point, but
yeah, well, it's mixed anyway, so it's solo queue for some, party for others.
MMR's MMR, you know?
Well, yeah, more or less. And so I assume it's Skrunk who we're talking about, who's the Shadow Shaman player, and I will hope to. Yeah. I will be playing with you tonight. Obviously, we don't have a fourth guest, so you'll.
I did that for a reason, Ursi.
Okay.
I feel like it can get a little crowded with 4. You know what I mean? And I thought it'd be nice to have 3 for this episode, and especially because we hear about Proud all the time. I mean, I've heard about this guy Proud for like 8 months now, where you're like, yeah, I have a friend who I play with named Proud. He's good at Lone Druid. That was back when I was playing Lone Druid, and you noticed. And it's like, now we got Proud on, so I wanted to give him the proper,
Plus, he's nowhere near either of your MMRs.
No, he's only like 400 higher than Ursi. He's like 44, and Ursi's like 4, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you are right now, Proud. I'm like...
Yeah, right now I'm about 44. I go between like 4.3 and 4.6, depending on the week.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? My solo right now is 41, and my party's like 42. So, we're right around the same range.
Yeah. What were you talking about then, Cyphus? What?
That you couldn't.
Oh, yeah, even if you times my MMR by 2, it doesn't equal one of their MMRs. So, I'm close, though. It's like, I'm almost half as good
Well,
as them.
I think you'd be like a few points higher than me.
A
But
few points, yeah. I got 43 or so, I guess. But that's solo. Anyway, sorry. Go on. I did not mean to take the train off the tracks, dude.
yes, we were on tracks. What were those tracks? All right, well,
The
anyway,
the Lone Druid Shadow Shaman, really. I mean, it's cool, but I mean, before the show we were talking a little bit, or I guess was talking about why it's cool with Lone Druid. So
yes. So one of the nice things is Lone Druid. He is, as Proud I'm sure will tell us, he's pretty weak in general because of some inherent issues with the hero. But Shadow Shaman, and he got a minor buff this patch. But then Shadow Shaman also, he got what I would call a pretty
Huge.
significant buff.
yeah, huge buff.
And he is a hero you do not see very regularly at high levels of play because he has mobility issues and he requires items and stuff. And so I think this pairing should be interesting. And like you touched on, it has a ton of push potential. So that's going to be our basic goal. Is a lot of like early 6. You hit 6, and then you just between the bear and Shadow Shaman wards, you're just going to annihilate towers, and you can manage to accomplish a lot without like investing some crazy combo that's hit or miss. It's very like consistent.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the shackle is huge for more attacks that the bear is getting on the enemy, for more chances for entangle, and that double stun. Where you can hold somebody in place for an extremely long time, based on obviously. I don't think it's pseudo random on the bear, is it? Isn't it like a 20%?
No, it's not. It's like 20%, and then that 20% is going to come whenever the hell it wants to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't feel like it. I don't know. I've had some.
Yeah,
Great entangle moments.
it's not like like a Lena where you just need a Shadow Demon setup, and then for half a second you get the stun. It's done. Something like Shackles, you get like a nice long 4 seconds where like, all right, you'll have the time to get an entangle at that point.
Yeah, and pray it's not diminishing returns. You don't get the entangle during the shackle.
Oh,
But,
exactly.
Yeah, even if it does, the damage is still out there, and you got to kill pretty reliably.
Yeah. Also, I mean, one of the other nice things is the bear. When you have both your buffs on it, what is it, Battle Cry and
Yeah,
The armor
since they're both melee heroes, if something's moving during the battle cry, you'll lose like half the potential damage from the DPS you get from the extra, like 100. So if you have something in place for about 2 seconds, you get 2 swipes off from the bear and the hero, you got to kill.
yeah, that's all. It's a lot of damage potentially. And like we said, Shadow Shaman, the shackle got buffed significantly. I believe what was it? It was a cooldown reduction
It's
by
6
like
seconds.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it?
went from
Wasn't it
18
12 to 6? Or
Yes, it was 18 to 12.
Oh, 18 to 12. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if it was 6, that would be wild.
It's 10 seconds. I know the cooldown right now is 10.
Oh,
Oh.
it's 10 seconds at level 1. Does it diminish, or does it stay the same at any level?
It stays the same.
Yeah, it's static.
Wow, maybe it was an 8-second. Anyway,
maybe
it feels
16.
it feels way more frequent. I'm seeing blink dagger shadow shamans now, where
Yep.
they're just like blink shackle, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? And then you
Yeah.
like walk a little further, and then he's like, nope, blink shackle. You're just like, dude, just let me go. Like, you can't kill me, and I obviously can't kill you. Like, I don't. It's been crazy the amount of
Yeah.
blink.
Blink has pretty much always been core on the hero. One of the big problems Shadow Shaman has is that he's very immobile. I don't know his move speed off the top of my head, but I know it's not good. And so
It's
he
like
definitely-
280.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
Awful like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
285. There we go.
285. Yeah, that's
uh,
miserable.
Why
Like-
even add the 5? You know what I mean? It's just like, if you're gonna fuck the hero, just put him at 280. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
Just
like
be honest about it. It's shit.
yeah, be honest. He's like a CM, right?
yeah, I know.
Except without all like the good things.
But
about
he's
CM.
got a tool belt that is huge, dude. Like
Yep.
his tool belt is like, what you need. I got damage. I got
Sable.
lockdown. I got push. What do you need? Yeah, add heal to that hero, dude, and he's literally every support.
I mean, he's very similar to CM when you think about it, but he
Yeah.
doesn't give the aura. But he does give a ton of push, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of the advantages we're gonna have is that with Lone Druid, who can easily rotate into the jungle, Shadow Shaman can get some net worth, assuming he doesn't like get killed. But he can farm the lane. He can get an early 6. He can get a good amount of XP, so that he can satisfy his need for items and his need for XP while still like being a support. Because normally, with some other carries, like I don't know, let's say a Spectre that's very greedy carry, you wouldn't be able to do this kind of method where they wouldn't rotate into the jungle and be able to be self-sufficient like that. So that's one of the big advantages to this. And you see that in a lot of duo lanes, especially like duo lane safe lanes, although we'll probably be off-laning this, is that it works because the carry can just rotate into the jungle and take stacks or do whatever. Also a lot of mids, like duo mids, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or any stacking hero, really. Like Shadow Fiend comes to mind. Like the classic thing is Shadow Fiend either takes stacks made by supports or stacks and takes them. And while he's taking the stacks and getting that, then, your roaming Earthshaker or what have you goes to mid and they take mid and, again, hopefully don't die.
I do that with Storm Spirit a lot, where it's like, hey,
Exactly.
I've got, because I'd like to stack at the 53, 1 minute 53, 2 minute 53, meet 3 minute 53, so I have like a 5 stack in the hard if I'm Radiant. I don't do it on Dire. But anyway, then I tell somebody to come. But I have a random thought for both of you guys, that I kind of realized today, because I played them both in succession. This literally has nothing to do with the lane combo, and it's ridiculous that I'm even bringing it up. You know what two heroes are a lot alike in one interaction? Windranger and Pugna with Decrepify and then the Lifesteal, and then Shackle and Focus Fire. I played Pugna and then I played Windranger, and I'm like, oh my god, these are like almost the same. Like this little tidbit is like, it felt the exact same. The interactions I was having.
I can see it.
Do you have anything to add on that? I know that's a really weird thought. Like it would be something I'd bring up to you and mumble, Ursi.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right that both are
It's
good
like both
and-
4 seconds. Like they're decrepified for 4 seconds, so they can't really do anything to you while you're life draining them. They're shackle shotted for 4 seconds. They can't really do anything to you while they're getting focus fired. I don't know. It was a weird thought that I had that I was like, wow.
I mean, it makes sense.
I think it kind of highlights the difference between the two heroes' viability, because like Decrepify, Pugna ulti, yeah, it's the kind of channeled thing, but you can do something about being decrepified. You can do shit while you're being decrepified, and I mean, you can BKB and it's all done. Windrunner, like if you get shackle shot, you can't do anything by definition of being stunned, and you can't like BKB or really do anything
But
to
people
mitigate
can
the damage
fuck with
of
the
it.
Windranger, but they can also fuck with the Pugna. See,
Yeah,
these
so
are the
it's-
thoughts
yeah.
that go through a 2.15k player's mind, where I'm like, wow, dude, I'm good at Pugna and Windranger because of this. Because I'm able to click on them and then click on them again. And I don't know. I just thought kind of
it makes sense.
Murana Arrow and Jakiro Ice Path, I feel, are very similar.
Yeah,
you know?
like the way that like Moran Arrow and any stun. That's the idea.
Yeah, well, Murana.
Oh, I mean-
well, the way you line it up, how you have the ice path where you have to,
Oh, gotcha.
like the way you anticipate an ice path is similar to the way I anticipate an arrow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought you meant as like a combination, like the Jakiro stuns.
No, like when I'm playing Jakiro, like I feel like that's why when I play Murana, I can hit arrows is because I played so much Jakiro. That like you're trying to catch somebody in the tail end of that ice wall or whatever the fuck. I know. I
I was
totally
just equate
derailed
Murana
us.
Arrow to Pudge Hook, because you can,
Yeah.
like dodge it with standby creeps and
Yeah.
stuff.
But
And
I'm
both
not a
heroes
Pudge
are
player.
Absolute garbage if you don't land them.
Do you play Pudge, Proud?
God no, holy shit.
Okay, I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're
God.
not one of those
Actually,
guys.
my lone druid master, which I actually have, is also like an obscenely good Pudge player, and he does like Pudge Wisp in the off lane. He made a video on Reddit that got like views.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it got Reddit traffic.
Wisp, yeah, Wisp off lane combos. Don't screw with that. That's crazy stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
we did
we've-
one last week, or
No, we did.
2 weeks ago. A Pudge
We
combo.
haven't done any Wisp. We did Pudge.
Pudge.
Omni. Pudge Omni was.
No,
good.
we did Pudge Lich.
We've
No,
always,
we didn't.
like-
Oh, it was Pudge Omni. You're right. God. Sorry.
Yeah, we haven't done any Wisp combos because. And Korean Barbecue, as a callback, he raised a very good point about Wisp combos, which we have been very tempted to do.
Yes.
But Wisp is such a hero that, and I know, Roland, you've been playing a lot of Wisp, so you'll have some good input on this, I'm sure. But Wisp is a hero that really, like, he makes anybody strong, or it makes anybody strong. I don't know if it's a gendered ball of light, but
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't make okay. So remember the OD Wisp that he was talking about?
yeah, yes,
OD Wisp kind of doesn't make sense to me because OD kind of already has like a built-in Wisp with his at least for mana, and I feel like Wisp is in most cases, unless shit goes bad, and yes, you do a lot of healing, it's the mana that's important with Wisp that I've noticed. It's like you play Tiny IO, right? Like, I'm not usually needing to heal Tiny as much as I'm needing to just provide him with a shitload of mana so he can do his combo every
Yeah,
14
farm and
seconds
whatnot.
and farm.
yeah.
And whatnot.
That's why Soul Ring Wisp is so wild. I forget if
Yeah.
it was Proud or Scrunk that like first opened my eyes to Soul Ring Wisp,
Which
back
is
when I
really
was
cool.
playing Wisp, because you're
Skunk's a Soul Ring hater, so it was probably me.
okay, yeah, but because I know you both of you actually are big Tiny players, although I've also
Yeah.
grown to love Tiny. But so for a while we were running Wisp Tiny, for better or worse.
Okay.
And Soul Ring Wisp is wild. Like that's so good because they get the mana.
Soul
the
Ring
full
Wisp
150
bottle.
instantly.
Yeah. Oh, I
Um,
love it. And then you just
and-
pop spirits, dude, right after they get their mana, and you don't really lose anything because you should like another thing that I've noticed with Wisp is why the fuck are spirits ever not turned on? Like your spirits should pretty much constantly be on cooldown because I don't want to have to overpower to heal you. I mean, ideally, I'd like to be able to use some of my mana without wasting it, to give you more attack speed, because sometimes you don't even need the attack speed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to, pop spirits early on, and give mana that way instead of using, my slowly leaking my mana so you can get some ability.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, because I mean, the slowly leaking your mana thing is balanced in that, like, the rate at which you leak is equivalent, basically, to the rate at which you regen. So it balances out, so they're regenning while you're draining and regenning, if that makes sense.
Which I make the mistake of leveling that up, which it hurts you more, I believe, the more you level it up. I'm not sure. Does it?
Well, generally you're
Doesn't it?
supposed to level it up eventually. Generally what you see
I
is
max
you max
spirits.
Yeah, you max spirits 1st, and you only keep one level in Tether.
Yep.
And a lot of Wisps, they don't even get the next 3 levels in Tether until like 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Because it's like the amount you gain from it is negligible.
Well, it's all about like, oh, so the IO should be doing loop-de-loops around the hero so it slows them down. Like that's like really the big benefit in upgrading Tether. It's is the slow that it provides if you cross your Tether over something.
Yeah, boy. I remember when that used to stun. That was wild stuff.
Really? Jesus,
Those were the days.
that's OG. I've never that's insane.
Oh,
That was when
yeah.
Chaos Knight Wisp was the thing, because you could Reality Rift and get an automatic stun. It was
Oh, that's
brutal.
why CK. I was always wondering about that. I was like, why is it
Yeah.
CK that everybody
It
talks
also
about was
works
so good?
just kind
with
of
IO?
like the tempo
'Cause
of the
the
hero
stun.
goes well with just like getting ganks to get kills instead of actually having to like farm
Yeah.
lane and stuff. But
And he has
yeah.
huge mana problems
Yeah.
and surviving problems and
Natural
other-
synergies aside, though, having a free stun every time you Reality Rift is pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
although I forget exactly how long the sun was, but it wasn't very long. It was like maybe a second and a half at most. But
Yeah.
and you can only get it like once per tether. But that's
Was it when a
fairly
tether would
low.
break? Is that how
No,
you
was
would do
when
it?
the
No,
tether
it's
would cross the
Just
enemy.
whenever you
Oh.
crossed it, and Reality
okay.
Rift puts you on the other side of the person you use it on.
Oh,
so it would
okay.
automatically put it between you and the Wisp, which is just
It's super fucking
really,
cool.
really
It was wild.
That is
We have
wild.
maybe we'll find a client from like 6.1 and we'll run that combo some week against bots.
Oh my god, because I remember people. What was that like around TI2? TI.
It was old.
Like,
In
I
my
know-
professional opinion, it was old.
I know
was
it's
even
old
great.
because I remember people talking about CKIO. Nobody ever told me about this like Wisp stun from the tether thing, and it all makes sense now because I was like, I was like, why not like Sven instead then? Like CK's good, yeah, but like CK's also seems stationary to me. That like if he hits Phantasm, he probably wants to stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
Wait.
go roam around with me. So,
Yeah, you see Wisp combos a lot with melee heroes too, because the inherent problems with melee heroes is that they get kited. So like
Yeah.
a hero like Wraith King or Ursa or whoever, if you could just kite a melee hero, you're gonna have an easy life, and they literally can't damage you. So that's why you see a lot of the Wisp combos are with a hero that needs move speed, whereas like a Wisp with like a Drow is, it's okay. I mean, you get attack speed and stuff,
Well,
but it's
just-
not nearly.
to the point of what we were saying is Wisp makes everybody better. That's the
Yeah.
thing about Wisp combos. That's
Exactly.
like to bring back the full circle is any hero likes having a Wisp. Like even I don't know, like when I'm playing a Wisp game and Tiny's fine and a support's really low, and then I just tether to him and I hit my Greaves and do a bottle
Mm-hmm.
charge or something. That support is like, God, it's fucking awesome to have a Wisp on the team.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
so
I mean?
that's like
It's just like everybody loves it,
Yeah, in a very
To bring it
long-winded,
even more
tangential.
long circle, or full circle. I'll say
long full circle.
Wisp. Lone Druid does not really care about a Wisp on his team.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't
yeah,
tether to
there are-
bears, so or
Oh,
can
really?
you? You should be able to.
I'm pretty sure you can.
'Cause you can
I mean,
tether
if
to
you can,
creeps.
yeah, if you can tether a creep, yeah. But it's just I don't know. It's not so great. Overcharge is like makes you stronger and makes you take less damage, but you don't really care because your hero is getting killed, but your hero doesn't need to get faster, and it's
Yeah.
But
There are some heroes that are exceptions, but for the most part, like, it's really easy to do 100 different IO combos. You know what I mean?
So again, as like a very long way of saying it, that's why we're not doing the like obvious like Wisp combos, because they're fun and like it's very good, but you know, A, not a lot of people know how to play Wisp. B, I don't want to induce people into starting to feed on Wisp by merit of my show.
I won't do it in solo anymore. I wanted to practice. I wanted to get better with Wisp, but I won't do it in solo anymore because I can't trust people. I will tell them, I'll be like, okay, stop, and then I ping the minimap on where we are. And I ping where we're going, and I'm like, if you move, it'll break the tether. Like, I have to literally explain this. This is just not like common knowledge. And it's like, we're gonna go kill this guy up there. And it's like, okay, dude. And then I go to the mini map and I go up there and I relocate up there and it's just me. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I was walking up there. It's like, oh my fucking god. Like, and I'm dead, and it's just, I won't do it anymore. But if I'm playing with my boy Gothier, yeah, dude.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, I have the same thing. It's like I think of it as like Oracle syndrome almost. Like I don't play Wisp. I like Wisp a lot actually, and there are a lot of opportunities in solo queue where I want to play him, but at the same time, like people, even if they know like intuitively they know how the hero works and all that, it's like you need to have good communication with your partner. So it's dangerous to do in solo queue. And then like lower to mid tiers and even high tiers, people either consciously or unconsciously don't know how the hero works, so they will like unintentionally break tethers and all kinds of things can go wrong.
I hate it when they have blink daggers. Oh god.
Yeah.
It's even playing with people that you have good communication with. Like, people say that the IO is the one that does all the work, but I disagree with that. It requires, like, at both parties thinking. Like, okay, if I blink and break this tether, he just barely tethered onto me, which means there's going to be like a 10-second cooldown before tether happens again.
Yep.
And people, what the fuck, IO? And it's like, dude, you're the one that broke the fucking tether when I tethered on you. Can't heal you unless we're tethered. Like, that's how this whole thing works.
Yep.
So it's good to get into other heroes on Theorycraft Thursday, just so people know. IO is a weird hero. I think he's one of those heroes that when you click random, you're like, oh fuck, it's IO. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I re-randomed IO. Oh fuck. Like, what are we gonna do? We lose. Which, I don't know. I think he's a cool ball of energy, and
He's definitely cool. He has a lot of potential too. Like he's one of those heroes I think of when I think of like if you're gonna spam a hero and think like I'm just gonna sit and for the next 100 games I'm gonna learn how to play this hero. I think Io is a really good hero for that position. Like there are some other versatile heroes like Kunkka or whoever that you think, or Earth Spirit is the classic one. Yeah, Invoker. Like you could just play 100 games of that hero. You're gonna have really noticeable gains, and I think Wisp is really cool for that. But there are some problems just with like if people don't understand how your hero works or they're not used to playing with it because he's not played often, then you're gonna have some problems. No matter how well you execute, if you're confusing your teammates, like that's not productive.
Yeah. Like you are truly a full support. Like you literally have an ability that hurts you. You know what I mean? That hurts you to help somebody. Like every other support, like Shadow Shaman can always buy boots of travel and like put his wards on towers when lanes are pushed and stuff, and like do his own little things. As I don't know, I can't gank, I can't do anything. Like I can throw my spirits out and hope to hit you as you're running away with the help of a friend. So yeah, I can't do it in solo.
All right,
and
well,
that's me on my soapbox right there.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
We'll see. Man, a few hundred MMR points later, I'm sure you'll be the Wisp expert. But anyway, back to tie it into, Lone Druid, Shadow Shaman.
Which I think we've gone full long circle back
we have
to...
Certainly.
Yes,
the circle is very long.
What's the plan? Let's talk... This is kind of weird, Ursi, because usually you're giving orders. I think you guys need to discuss what's your build. What are your builds going to be? What are you scared to see? What is the bane of Lone Druid, Shadow Shaman?
Okay.
Well, the Bane of Lone Druid Shadow Shaman is a game going past 35 minutes without a ridiculous advantage. That's kind of every game on Lone Druid, as much as I hate to say it. It used to be you could take it late with a kind of Basher variant where you just lock people down and you just are living Fiend script. But at this point, power creep has kind of got to the point where you just can't really deny it. You can't take it too late as a Lone Druid.
Yeah, so I think that's a really valuable point, actually. just to boil it down, because Lone Druid is not a hero people see often because of his difficulty and because he's not super strong right now. So Proud, like, what are his key weaknesses that like prevent him from being a strong hero and prevent him from being in the meta?
So one thing is his bear looks really strong on paper, but then once you take it to late game, 2,700 health doesn't count that much, and then 2,700 health of not having stat gain, so you don't have this like large creeping mound of agility that's like just kind of building over the course of the game and giving you more armor. So the armor that your bear has is really just kind of stuck there for the entire game. You can get a couple items like AC to build it up a little bit, but your bear's just not going to have a lot of armor. So the bear's kind of balanced around being this giant mass of like flesh that can't be killed and it's just not worth touching. And then once that stops being true, you're left with something with poor scaling damage, because the bear does creep damage, which does about 70. Well, its type of damage is normal, which is 75% against heroes. So its damage doesn't scale super well, and its defenses don't scale very well, and it doesn't really have any good gap closers or anything like that. So like the patch where Sniper was strong, if Sniper was in the game, he would just right-click the bear, and the bear would be Scottied, and it's not going to get BKB, not that it matters against Scotty, and then slowed, and then stunned, and it's just not going to do anything. So if once you get to the point where people can turn around and right-click your bear, your hero is basically done. And the only way that you can kind of fight through that is if you get a bunch of bashers on both your hero and the bear, and hope that you can like kind of close the gap and then just spam bash people down, and then they can't really counterattack you. But unless you can get to that point, you really, really can't touch it late game.
Well, what about the... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go on.
I was going to ask you about the Lonely Druid and what that's all about. Ursi brought this up.
So then you've got a hero who does nothing that a Drow Ranger doesn't. That's it.
Yes.
Really?
That Drow Ranger that moves faster. Yeah, Lonely Druid, that's like a Dota 1 thing, and like it's one of those. Okay.
So you don't get the bear at all, is what Lonely Druid is about, right?
Yes, and
I love the name.
Yeah, I mean it's like a fun build in theory. You're like, oh well, you're super fast, but like you suck and you're garbage. So, like,
and you don't get 100 agility when you turn level 6.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. My friend played around with that build for like, I don't know, a dozen games, and it was a terrible dozen games.
I think if you really wanted to make that work, I had a few theories about trying to make this hero viable for a while, and there's one that was kind of related to that that's not too bad. But if you go like the Glove of Haste got buffed a while back to be from 15 to 20 attack speed on 500 gold, which is like an absurd amount of efficiency. So if you did want to, you could like level up your bear, but like not focus items on it, just get like Phase Boots, Orb of Venom, and then just like, I don't know, 4 Gloves of Haste, something absurd like that. And then the bear could actually be pretty viable in terms of like zoning for you and getting entangles off. Like that's some efficient attack speed. That's like 80 attack speed for the price of a Hyperstone, and Hyperstone's already efficient as hell. So you could go something like, I don't know, like S and Y treads or something on Scylla, and then get like Orb of Venom and a bunch of Gloves of Haste on your bear, and like you could kind of do something with that. It wouldn't be too awful, but it's still would not recommend. It doesn't have my seal of approval.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those builds where like at best it's like just a slightly worse Lone Druid. Like it's one of those things where like you might win with it, but then you get that like logical fallacy in your mind. You're like, oh well, I won with this, it must be good. But it's like, well, you won despite your build. So yeah, I mean, maybe someday in the future, if Lone Druid gets buffed to the...
I think there's some very peripheral viability of that with the Glove of Haste thing, but I just want to emphasize that this is when I was really, really desperate to come up with some way that I could play this hero in a pub and not feel like I was destroying my team.
I feel you. I've been there with Invoker.
Well, what's the backstory with this Lone Druid shenanigans and you? How many games do you have? Why?
I have 360 games on him right now, and I have about a 60% win rate, although that dropped below 60 the last 2 patches when he was just god-awful. But I came from like StarCraft 2, and I wanted to play a hero that has like cool micro, and everyone always thinks it's like, oh, StarCraft, Meepo, but Meepo is really like, he's kind of macro, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like,
it's like you have 5 bases. It's like you have 5 bases.
It's macro in two senses. One, in that it's in 5 places. 2, that like a keyboard macro, you press a button, a bunch of things happen all at once, and then that's the fight. And that's how Meepo is. You blink on someone, you go, and then you get a kill.
Yeah,
that's fantastic, but it's not super fun.
No, it was really hard for me. I came over from StarCraft 2, by the way, as well. Proud. I am a diamond random. in StarCraft 2. And that was immediately why I was interested in Visage, why I was interested in Lone Druid, why I was interested in Meepo, why I was interested in those micro heroes. Because I looked at them as though they were micro, but I realized very quickly Meepo is much different. And Lone Druid was a lot closer to the micro that I was used to. With, say, I don't know, Blinkstalkers. It was similar to Blinkstalkers. Blinkstalkers had a cooldown, and I could blink my bear back to me, you know what I mean? Like, I really liked the correlation.
Well, that's one of the main things about like Lone Druid harassing in lane. He's such a good 1v1 laner. Is like you have to get your bear up to hit something, and then as a projectile from like a tower is going at him, you blink right before the tower hits, and it avoids the damage. It's like it's really similar to Blinkstalkers. It's super fun. And I was Masters Protoss, so
okay,
like, this is exactly what I'm about.
Okay. Yeah, I got to Diamond in Protoss and switched over random and stayed Diamond. But yeah, I did a bunch of cheesy shit to get there. I'll say that much. 4-gate. It wasn't 4-gate every single game, but
like I like the flavor of the hero. The whole like nature is not for the weak shit. It's like it's just manly as hell. It's like it's so brutal. Hero. And the whole like Scottish accent kind of thing. I'm really into that. So he's pretty great. I like him kind of across the board.
Is that why you play Luna? The Scottish accent?
That's another reason. Although her accent, I don't even want to touch that one.
It's just kind of sexy, dude, is all I've got to say. Don't you think Luna's... Cyphus just laughs and everybody gets silent. Am I the only one?
I have no input on this. I
don't... There's something about it, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm at a loss. I use the Korean sound pack because I'm a freaking terrible person, and so this is foreign to me. But I know when we were at ESL, I'll make a very short story. When we were at ESL, whenever Luna would get picked at the tournament, one of the guys I was at the thing with, my friend Eric, he would yell, "Luna is my Scottish queen," like loud enough that probably like our entire section could hear him, and it's wild stuff. So yeah, Luna definitely Scottish. Anyway, yeah, so. Lone Druid is a lot of fun. I know I've made some attempts to play him after watching Proud play him, dozens of times probably at this point. And I think the hero is really fun, but he definitely like, when we're talking about like Wisp being one of those heroes where like you could play 100 games of him and you'll see like noticeable gains every game. I think Lone Druid is a just as good example of that mechanic of learning where like you could play 100 games of Lone Druid or 360 games, whatever, and you're going to see like appreciable gains that whole time.
I'm like 6-24 with Lone Druid or something like that. I wish we had it pulled up, honestly, and I will have my Dota buff. Can you, Cyphus, will you look up my Lone Druid win rate list? I don't know if I had Dota buff turned on at this point. I did. No, I just thought I was good because I think it was that like logical fallacy thing where I had like one cool game where I did feel like a man, because it does make you feel like a man. I completely agree, Proud. When you take a dude down with a bear. How many games do I have with him?
20 games.
What's my win rate?
25%.
25% win rate over 20 games.
I mean, you're great. The hero's just bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. It's the hero's just no. It was definitely.
Disclaimer, I talk bad about the hero, but this patch I do have an 80% win rate, so you can win with him pretty well.
Whoa. Okay.
You just need to invest a few hundred more games.
Yeah, just drop 360 games into him. You'll find a way.
Oh, it's crazy. 360 games. That's that's actually what I was thinking is not that many games to be top. What did you say your Lone Druid was top? According to Dota buff, right? Like
I don't know right now. I think maybe 120 or something.
So top 120 best Lone Druids, and you've only put 300 games into him. Like, I'd like to know how many games Bulldog put into Lone Druid. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know. And also, like, they have a lot of lobby games which aren't counted in
which
Dota
are
buff
not
stats.
Counted.
But, yeah. I mean, I don't know, not to tie everything back to Invoker, but I think I have probably around 300 Invoker games between this account and my Battle Fury Smurf. Yeah, like, when you put that many games on any hero, I think, like, even if it's a quote-unquote simple hero, you're going to, like, notice things that other people don't notice, and you think at, like, a really high level about the hero. And I know that's a super interesting thing about Lone Druid, especially because not only do you get to itemize and think about one hero, but you get to itemize and think about / worry about another hero effectively, although a hero that does creep damage, which that's actually a buff that I've heard from other people that would be significant, and they think would be like enough to put him in the meta, is to make the bear do hero damage as opposed to creep damage.
normal.
Have you thought of that,
opposed to-
Proud, as like a? Do you think that would make him viable again?
So the caveat that everyone puts to that is like, oh, well, if they did that, then he would do less damage to towers, because creep's actually normal damage does like I think 125 to towers and heroes 100. But if you just scaled that with also buffing demolish, then I mean, yeah, that'd be great. When people always say like lone druid, you get radiance, etc. Part of the reason of that is that radiance damage isn't off your like normal attack damage. So like radiance damage isn't mitigated by the fact that you're doing creep damage. Maelstrom damage isn't. I'm pretty sure Basher damage and MKB damage isn't. So a lot of the items that you get on lone druid are like things like Maelstrom and radiance because they don't do your attack damage. So it would open up a lot of other options.
Yeah. So just like to go now into the practical stuff of what we're going to be doing in the game. What kind of build are you planning on going? I know you'll probably have more to say because as Shadow Shaman, I'm probably just going to be going like pretty standard, like mana boots. Maybe I'll buy an urn and then just like
mana boots, urn or bracer, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a little bit of
blink.
survivability, and then a blink. Or if stuff's going bad, I'll get a force staff, and then I'll get Ags, and then I'll get like a refresher. So
I've
that's pretty
had
generic.
a lot of opinions on Lone Druid. I haven't thought Radiance has been good ever. I've only been justified in thinking that since they made Entangling Roots not a unique attack modifier. But I've been a big fan of Maelstrom Basher for a really, really long time. But this patch I've since changed, and I've started going Hyperstone Deso. I think Deso is probably the best item on Lone Druid right now, but you need some amount of attack speed to make use of the fact that they just changed it. So let me see how much this is right now.
You guys are smart, by the way. Like listening to you guys talk about like this creep damage, hero damage. Wow,
It's just like the
fucking
minutia
impressive, dude.
that honestly,
So-
like you don't really need to think about until you get to like a really.
So the new battle cry on Lone Druid gives you 90 damage to your hero and your bear, and at level 6, having another 180 damage total to work with is insane. So you want to build items that synergize with that. So attack speed is good. Get some multipliers up on that 180 total, and then you throw Deso in there as well, and you've got like crazy amounts of minus armor, also modifying your damage, and it's just super super good.
And it's on towers too, so you gotta.
Yeah,
Especially when
Deso on a tower is pretty crazy.
Dude, this is like proof how I know that I wouldn't like recalibrate on a Smurf to 4K. Just listening to you guys talk. Like this is how I know there's no way I could get to like 4K by recalibration. Damn. You guys are all like totally theorycrafting over there. I feel like I've never theorycrafted before now.
It's almost like that's the intention.
I guess so. Oh my
What's the show
god.
called? Simpleton Tuesday.
It's called Try Hard Thursdays.
Try Hard Thursdays. It's called Theorycrafting Thursdays or Theorycraft Thursdays.
Theorycraft
or
Thursdays.
TCT, I
Depending on
don't
the
know.
week, we have an ING.
It does depend. So what are you gonna build, Proud? Sorry.
So we're gonna do Phase Orb of Venom and then Hyperstone Deso most likely, somewhere with a
That
Bassi
quick,
in
huh?
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere with a Bassi
Well, I would
in
hope so. Yeah. Well,
Damn.
you normally I like to do Hyperstone Bassi Deso, and you normally get the Hyperstone about when you start using Rabid, because then you have some real mana consumption you have to deal with, and your bear's armor starts to kind of taper off. So Bassi solves your mana and gives your bear some armor and a little bit extra damage to go with the Hyperstone.
Okay, and then what do you do on Scylla?
I get brown boots, and then sometimes I get a ring of regen. A lot of people really like Tranquils on Scylla, which is like pretty good. But Tranquils kind of sets you back 200, which seems small, but on Lone Druid you have no stat scaling, so you really just live and die by keeping your items relevant. So I like to stay with the ring of regen, and that gives you really all the health you need if you just kind of manipulate being in regular form and bear form. And then you take that ring of regen later on into a Vlad's, and if you go with Tranquils, that sets your Vlad's back a good 300 gold. So and the Vlad's is really good because you get the Bassi early on the bear, you have the ring of regen on your hero, and it's a pretty easy transition to go something like Hyperstone, Deso, Vlad's, AC, and you've already got pieces for the Vlad's and pieces for the AC, so they come real quick.
Yeah, boy, this just made me think about how
Dude.
if Tranquils were disassemblable, that would be like the most game-changing buff to a lot of heroes. Like now in Lone Druid, theoretically, you could do Tranquils early, disassemble them, and then you'd have 2 of the pieces for your Vlad's when you're doing Vlad's.
Yeah,
So,
welcome,
but that would
welcome
also
to my build
silly.
right before they made Tranquils non-disassemblable.
Yeah, I didn't remember that they were.
Yeah, it used to be, and it was super great. I would just go like I could go Maelstrom, Hyperstone for AC, straight Vlad's in you'd farm another 1,200 and you would have a Vlad's. It was so good. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. All right.
And you
Well,
can still have Tranquils. It was great.
Yeah. All right. So I think like we've gone on
Yeah,
enough
no,
tangents
I
and
am,
stuff.
like,
So let's put this into
impressed.
practice, right?
Yeah, I'm fucking impressed with you guys' banter.
Right.
This is
Here's what
probably
we-
what it sounds like when geniuses talk, dude. And I don't really get the chance to be around that too often. So,
Well,
wow.
hopefully it all
Thank
like
you.
pays off and we win.
and
It'd be
I'm gonna be.
embarrassing if like we talked up all this, you gave us all these compliments, and then we just go.
I'm
and,
sure
like,
it's
give
still,
it 20 minutes.
he's still gonna play a badass lone druid, win or lose. You know what I mean? Like there
I
may
should
be.
hope so. Shit.
Yeah.
And by the way, this has been hyped for months. There's gonna be thousands and thousands of people watching Proud.
Yeah,
so.
no, I mean, I know. I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
He's used to it at this point. You said CLS. You playing a StarCraft team for your, or is it Dota?
Oh no, it's Dota.
Oh, okay. I wanted to.
So I've got
'cause I was like, I don't-
We're actually on Thursday going to watch our replays from last week and go over them and stuff in the school library, which is probably my
That's
most
fucking
favorite
awesome.
time of the week.
That's fucking awesome.
It sounds very official.
All right, yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
let's go into the game. Let's get you guys all queued, and we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good. All right, hello everybody, and we are back. We are in the post-game section now, happily. Although that game was going so well, I kind of wish it had continued.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. Okay, you know how we always decide if it was a Theorycraft win, if it was an execution win, or execution loss, or what? That was, I don't even know if that was Theorycraft. I just think that was a dude with a bear that knew what the fuck he was doing, dude. Like,
Yeah, that was a game. It was a game.
that was crazy. And the places you put your wards, like, dude, there's like a little bit of fanboy in me after watching that game. Like, as we cast it, there were moments of silence where we're like, dude, I just watching this guy last hit is really fun. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty mesmerizing to watch him last hit. It was.
That last hitting on Lone Druid is actually like, so there was a time when I was trying to figure out exactly the best way to do it, because you need your bear hit and your hero hit to happen at the same time. But if you're like closer than, I think I measured out, it was like if you're closer than 300, you need to do, what is it, bear first, then hero. If you're farther than that, you need to do hero first, then bear. And that was a fucking train wreck. So I just talked to like someone who's better than Lone Druid or better at Lone Druid than me, and I was like, "Is this really worth like my mental stress?" And he was like, "Nah, man, just let it go. You don't get the last hit. You don't get the last hit. Don't worry about it that much."
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of the really complex theories of when people are like, oh, you know, for min-maxing, people think a
Yeah.
little too hard. Like, I can't think of an example off the top of my head. I guess tread switching is like a microcosm of that, although tread switching is important. But in some situations it's not, but people still do it. And it's like some things, like, it makes you feel good about yourself. Like, you're like, man, that was awesome. Like, I'm such a good player. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really make like a tangible difference. Like, maybe you
Yeah.
get one extra last hit in the entire game, but
I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody has tread switched and survived at 1 health before and been like,
Oh, yeah.
I am the best at this fucking game, better than
Well,
anybody.
yeah. I mean, that's where it counts. But like people, like the example I would use is like on AM, tread switch is important. But like, I even just compulsively do it. Like once I have like once I'm like level 20 and I have a manta and like all my items, and it's like you don't need to tread switch at that point.
Yeah.
It's probably even better to just stay on strength at all times at that point.
Yeah.
So-
and then you get people like Blue that's like, okay, drop your Scotty, drop your mana boots, drop your this, drop your that. I'm gonna hit my mana boots, and I want to max this.
All
It's
right,
like,
that's
no,
the shit.
dude.
I do that all the time. I'm like, hey, man, boot me. Wait. Let me drop my bracer. All right, now
Yeah. Wait. Let me empty my entire inventory so I can get the maximum amount out of this.
Yeah.
And I
then
understand
your
it.
boot's
still
stolen
wanna go back to
once,
this,
and then it's
man.
not worth it.
Oh, dude, I've had my tranquils destroyed as a jungling axe, which you had a jungling axe that you were stacking right off the bat, and that axe was like, "Whoa, dude, thanks," and kind of just
Yeah.
went in. I didn't think they
Yeah.
were intended for him, but it worked out.
It kind of was. I was asking him because I don't play Axe. He's actually one of my.
Well,
like,
axe is
absolute
axe.
zero.
You know what I mean?
But I was asking because I don't know his like thresholds for what he can and cannot jungle. So I was like, oh well, can I stack the large camp for you, or like will you not be able to take it? And he was like, I don't care, dude. Just do whatever. I was like, oh,
All right.
okay. And so I was stacking the medium camp because I was like, that's safe, and like it's definitely not warded because
Yeah.
they were warding, like they were blocking my pulls in weird ways. Like they didn't block it initially, and they blocked it later on, I think, and it was just very disconcerting. But yes, I was just stacking for him, and I had like I messed up my warding because I was trying to focus too much on the lane. So I had like 4 observers on me at one point, and I was like, I don't know. I need to like. I told Proud, I was like, hey, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ward because I
We
have all
noticed
these
that point.
burning a hole in my pocket.
But the way we were like, I bet Ursi has some master plan for the reason he has 4 wards in his inventory. He probably wants to hold on to low vision right now and get high vision later on in the game.
That's me just going like, can we go? Can we go? Can we go?
Yeah. Do you have Shackle? Do you have Shackle? Dude, there were so many moments in that game, Proud, that your kill hinged on the bear entangling.
Yeah.
Dude, it was fucking like I was like, is he gonna die? There's a 20% chance this guy dies right now. There's a 20% chance he dies again.
There was like the one game in a tournament that I played that was just like the epitome of like why I'm always kind of question picking the hero. So I'm fighting like an invoker in one lane, and like we're at like the dire bottom tier 1. And I hit him, and I don't get entangled, and he turns on me, he cold snaps, I'm like down, like, oh shit, I gotta run. And so I run from the dire tier 1 bot down to Radiant tier 2 bot, just like across the map. Do not get a single entangle the entire time. He's one hit from killing me under the Radiant tier 2, and I hit him like one more time right before I'm about to die, and it's a root, and he dies. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry, but statistically, that should have fucking happened at this point.
Yeah, it's rough.
But statistically, it can happen. That's the thing.
Yeah,
would you rather pseudo random with the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After like min-maxing like PA pseudo random, like 5 auto attacks on a creep and then go in, and then like I'm like, man, if I could just do that on my bear, I would be such a good hero.
Dude, those people were probably arguing like, what the fuck is going? I thought Lone Druid sucked. Like, why are we getting squashed by this fucking Lone Druid? It was honestly impressive, and I'm gonna say that wasn't necessarily a Theorycraft, totally a Theorycraft win. Although the Shackle was incredible
especially against Natures.
Yeah, especially against Natures. You should explain that. Sorry, I was just in such awe of the game. Explain what you guys were up against.
So we got to safe lane. Generally, I know we prepared ourselves to have to off lane, but we lied to our party.
I have 3,000 games of demanding safe lane. We know how to get it done.
Yeah, but we just lied. We were like, yeah, we've been playing this combo for like all evening. We have like 5 wins in a row. We have a system. Don't worry about it. Let us do a safe lane.
And they probably were like, dude, that system is rad. Let's try it, man.
Yeah, and
you guys made it look easy.
Yeah, and so we got to do a safe lane, which is nice. But yeah, we laned against an offlane Nature's Prophet, and offlane Nature's does not fare well against us. Because like anytime I had the ability to shackle, he was probably gonna die.
Yeah.
And of course we had good communication. So like it wasn't first blood, I don't think, but I think it was the first time we killed Natures.
I want to say that it was first blood.
Yeah, maybe it was.
It might have been.
I think it was first blood.
So it was like, well, we had some harass on him. Like I had one shackle earlier that brought him down like to like 2/3
where the bear
health
was just fucking with him, and you were last hitting with the Scylla or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that moment,
Oh, so maybe it was the second kill. But anyway, it was like one of those things where like I was just hassling him off on the side, and I was like, Proud, like come over here, easy kill. And then so like when you have good communication with your partner like that, it was easy kills. So definitely Nature's Prophet does not fare well against this lane.
No, he was feeding. God. He was feeding.
He's actually good against Lone Druid in lane, but once you add the Shadow Shaman, because like at the start, if he just sends trees on me, like I can't kill them fast enough.
Yeah.
And the trees actually do more DPS than my bear does, which is awful.
Wow.
But yes, like I have to be fighting trees and like backstepping and throwing out attacks. So I do need the Shadow Shaman to go in there and like get the surprise shackle to win that lane.
Yep.
Dude, it was so like there was a point you had killed him. You got the first blood on the Nature's Prophet. And he came back and he was sending trees at you guys. I'm like, this Nature's Prophet is just like feeding. Because you get experience from the trees. You get gold from the trees.
Yeah.
You were getting last hits on the trees.
Mm-hmm.
As the lane goes on, Lone Druid has enough, like, because you can't waste spells on trees, but you have enough right click to like actually kind of really muscle them down once you get like a quelling blade.
Yeah, and then once I had like the level 2 lightning, I could burn him down with that. So
yeah,
it definitely did not go well. And like I think Nature's Prophet is not a hero that plays well from behind either, because his stats are not such that he can live without having a bunch of items. So once he like had a couple deaths in lane and nobody was rotating successfully, then like we took his tower and it was just not fun. I think a lot of our success was contingent on our communicating obviously we talked about it earlier, but communicating whenever I had ult, I was like, hey, I have wards, let's take a tower. Or when Proud hit 6, or no, when Proud hit 7, we
At
were like,
6
right,
minutes. At 6 minutes,
yeah.
he hit 7.
When he hit 7, it was like, all right, take the tower. And it was just easy stuff. And it was like, we'll take the tower. I would position my wards in a way such that, I don't know if you guys took note of it, but
Yes, I did. Yes.
when we were taking tier 2 bottom, for instance, I positioned my wards because I saw a Juggernaut in the vicinity. So I positioned my wards close to the tree line, and I stayed in the tree line.
And you
so
waited
that
the entire time.
if
Yeah.
he wanted to come kill my wards, which that guy had no farm, he probably would have just died to my wards at that point, honestly.
You could have shackled
But-
him and killed him.
Exactly, I could have just come out and shackled him and killed him.
Yeah,
And
I
other times
saw that.
I would zone people with wards where you put them behind the tower, and then they can't come up to fight the wards.
Which is what you did to the tier 1 dire
Yeah.
bottom tower.
so
which was
ward
cool.
positioning is definitely a big thing. And
And you blocked a guy from getting away with wards. It was, and then the big team fight, you put the wards just in the river mid.
yeah,
it
it
was-
was. To be fair,
I don't
But,
know. Like, we were talking about it for a second. I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously that helped you guys win the battle, and we were talking about if you would have won without them or not. I'm not sure it would have been so decisive.
yeah, and I
without
also
them. So
I almost got Reaper's Scythe that fight, but I fogged him by going uphill. Although it was daytime, so like fog is even weirder. But yeah, and even like in the opposite direction, during our push to take racks mid, I warded in a way that was inefficient. I was trying to block a path so that they couldn't engage on us as easily. But by blocking that path, like half of my wards couldn't reach the melee racks. So that was
Ooh.
like a big mistake on my part. Although obviously like we had such ridiculous push. Like we had Deso. Pride, you went Deso AC, right? Those
Yeah,
were your-
DesOAC is the current build in my opinion.
And so like we took towers in like a matter of seconds. And
Yeah,
Rack
you
so
throw.
quick.
It's like, how much is that total? It's like 7 and 5. You got 12 minus armor, and at 12 minus armor plus wards, kind of like hammering in. That's
Yeah.
like super brutal.
And then like
It was.
when we were getting megas, like obviously when we were getting megas, like we could have done it at any speed, like the game was over. But efficiency wise, like we use your cooldowns on the top tower and top racks, and then we had my cooldowns then, and I could like go down to bottom and ward because Battle Cry and the other Lone Druid buff, those have like a not insignificant cooldown, right? It's like 45 seconds.
Rabbit is always up. War Battle Cry is 60 seconds.
Yeah. So like if you can balance your cooldowns that way, it's really nice. But yeah, I think like the game went swimmingly. I
It
think
was execution and
and a
Theorycraft.
Theorycrafting win.
Yeah, that's a great lane if you've got a great lone druid. I mean that's a good lane even if you have a so-so lone druid, and maybe.
Yeah. Or if you're practicing
The
Lone
shackle shot does actually kind of smooth over if you're not that great, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of finer things about moving as lone druid or moving as 2 units at a time. But if someone's in place, it doesn't fucking matter. You just click on him, you win.
Yeah. I think one of the most complicated things on Lone Druid, as someone who's an amateur Lone Druid player, and when I watch you do it, that is really different to me, is when you're running away with the hero, you are microing the bear to be attacking and or creep blocking the person. And
Yeah.
that's something that, like, in theory, it's like, all right, well, obviously you do that. It's really, like, basic. But when it's in practice, it's like, I don't know
it's
what I'm
really
doing.
hard.
Like, I'm accidentally
thing
moving
about-
backwards. And
The thing about that you actually like don't really think about is normally when you run away, since you're only focusing on your hero, you're just like clicking every little path you're gonna take. But in reality, you only lose so much efficiency if you just like right click on your fountain and leave it. Like you're still gonna run away. You know, you're gonna take the best path. Pathfinding is pretty good. You're not gonna juke much. But if you just do that and then you just solely micro your bear, it's actually way easier than you would think.
oh, okay, yes,
Just it's like a lot of it is just banishing the heuristic that you have to like micro your hero. But like no, you just go away and then do your bear.
Yeah, and then the other part of that is like you knowing when to TP or to blink your bear back to your hero to block. That's like a really interesting mechanic that I
Yeah.
think a lot of like amateur Lone Druid players could learn a lot from.
Or using it, you were using it to farm the safe camp, the dire safe camp, and you killed the dire safe camp with your bear, and then you poofed it so you could kill the lane creeps. Like it was just small little bits of efficiency that was so cool to see. Whereas like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna have my
going-
bear walk 300 units. I'm gonna teleport at 300 units so I can get a hit right now. So
Yeah, Lone Druid farming is absurdly fast. The old male Deso, like you could get Maelstrom, Bassi, and Deso up at like 20 minutes if you had relatively like free farm, which is like an absurd amount of time, honestly. Like it's really, really fast.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it was just solid all around. I think like pretty much everything went well. Like we had one feeding train where like we got overly
Yeah.
aggressive and like
It was after
we
you
all
took the
dived-
tier 1 bot.
Yeah, exactly. And then like we all dived a little, and then our mid disruptor, which that was a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
He like
sure.
came in to feed, and that was like a worrying point because at that point it was like 7-0 or like 7-1.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, yep, we just had like 4 deaths in a row.
It was at the 8-minute mark. Proud unfortunately died because he was looking to grab the 8-minute rune, and I was like, good for him. It could be a, it could be.
Oh no, I was just trying to get out of there.
Oh, you were
This
just
is
trying to get
probably
out of
the
there?
safest path, but that silencer like headed me off there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just a little
For
worried
some
about
kind of
the
escape.
silencer.
I thought you were
yeah.
just going to get the 8-minute, hoping it was like a regen or something. Like this is going to be
Nah,
like
yeah.
free health. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Silencer was just like, I know exactly where you're going,
Yeah.
and got you. But I think that was your only death. I'm pretty sure that
No,
was.
he's-
I think
Yes.
I had one other, much to my just. Oh god.
Yeah,
So
right,
we
okay.
was like up top going
That's
with that Necro. We killed the silencer, but he held his ulti forever. So silencer got like his global silence off, and like 3 guys walk up, and I can't kill them quite in time, and I get Necro ultied.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
right.
And if you
Yeah, and
just
then you're
dropped
dead
your
for like a year.
silence, it's like Disruptor ulti's got a short cooldown. If you ever play Disruptor, by the way, guys, or if you just play anything, just use your ulti. Like having your ulti on cooldown. Like whenever anyone says like, well, they traded me for their ulti. Like I'm sorry, like you don't get to pretend that death wasn't a problem. Like trading yourself for the ulti, like that's what the ulti is there for.
I
It's
know.
like, well, I died, but he used a gun in his bullets.
Like-
That's what the bullet's for, man.
Yeah,
He
like
won
when
that
Ursi,
exchange.
like when Ursi blocked that. I think it was the jug off near the tier 2 bottom tower, where the guy was gonna run through the trees, and you're like, nope, serpent wards, and then he had to walk around your serpent wards and died. Where it was like, is that a waste of his, ulti? Like, did he just waste his serpent wards there? And it's like, no, he fucking killed the guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's the point.
Yeah, like unless you get team wiped in the next 30 seconds or unless you team wipe them because they didn't have their ulti in the next 30 seconds, like that ult was useful.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
Disruptor. Like Disruptor ult's a relatively short cooldown. It's like 60 seconds. So
It's
I mean, if you're
70
like
at max, but yeah.
yeah, if you're like a Tidehunter or something, and it's like, oh well, we lose fights when I don't have ult, or if it's a late game, and that's when you need to be conservative. But when you're a mid Disruptor, like, I mean, that was all. I would not advise mid Disruptor.
Only
No,
ult's
he
really
got
worth
wrecked.
saving. Black Hole, Ravage. Beyond that, I mean, get a kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I- God damn it, that's a good point to end this show, I would say.
Yeah. I
Use
think-
your ulti. And and crush
use
face.
If you
have
fight, press your
abilities, use
goddamn buttons. They're great. Buttons are awesome.
Yep. Kills are nice. Winning games is fun. Lone Druid, not the worst hero. It worked out. We had a success overall. I was very happy with it.
It was
It's like
a
85% win rate right now. He can't be that
It was a
bad.
giant
jinx it.
success.
Jinx it.
It was a giant success.
All right. Well, you can catch the video from this game on our YouTube channel. That is .ptv1. You can catch all our podcasts on defenseofthepatients.com. You can also find it on all of your iTunes and all of the podcast apps you listen to. Our Twitter is .p_show. I am at Ursinity on Twitter. Roland is at .p_Roland on Twitter. Proud, do you have a Twitter or not?
No.
Okay, all right. Well,
He's like, no, fuck that.
you're probably better off. It's a real time killer. You can also talk to us on r/Defense of the Patients, where you can find all our stuff. And let's see, defenseofthepatients@gmail.com is where you can contact us, unless you use Twitter, of course. All right. Well, I'm Ursinity. This has been Theorycrafting Thursday or Theorycraft Thursday, depending on what this is posted as. And just remember, it's my theory, and it's probably your fault.